Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Axelar. Axelar is the chosen interoperability solution for institutions bridging into the XRP ledger. Cheers to $100 million in daily cross-chain volume and counting. I remember when Axelar was first announced, and I said back then, this is something that's going to continue to grow over time, and it's going to add more and more value to XRP along the way. But all the projects that are building out right now on the XRP ledger, they're all geared towards institutional adoption. And they're all growing at a very alarming rate. This value is eventually going to be reflected in the price of XRP. Unexpected Ripple move comes from the giant Brazilian exchange. As the largest crypto platform in Latin America, Marcato Bitcoin chose XRP Ledger among many alternatives in its digitalization journey. And one thing I want to point out is this right here. Marcato has announced a plan to tokenize real-world assets such as Bitcoin, stocks, and bonds. What have I been telling you this entire time? They are eventually going to tokenize Bitcoin, and it's going to run across all these other networks. XRP Ledger, Stellar, XDC Network, and so on. Marcato Bitcoin has announced plans to tokenize an additional $200 million worth of stocks and bonds on the XRP Ledger as well. Bitcoin's future is it being a tokenized asset. XRP could hit $35 if it captures a quarter of remittance market by 2029. This is laughable because this is going to happen way before 2029. You see how things are accelerating right now. We are pushing into the digital age faster than ever before. Nothing is slowing down. It was like for the last 4 years under Biden, nothing got done and the U.S. just sat on the sidelines. Now, everything is happening at a very accelerated rate. And Ripple will capture 25% of this market most likely by 2028, if not sooner. XRP price could reach $24.37 if it grows 2% per month until 2035. Okay, so now it's going to take until 2035 for XRP to reach $24.37. Meanwhile, every chart guy out there right now is predicting $30 to $50 in this run. And other people are predicting 3 digits plus, but it's going to take until 2035 for XRP to reach this price point. I don't know who writes these articles. I don't know if it's Bitcoin maxis making people think they should sell their XRP because nothing's going to happen until after 2035 or 2030 or whatever. But XRP is going to hit these numbers in this run. I mean, even the most conservative price predictions right now still put XRP at $15 plus by the end of this year. You know, these articles are nonsense articles at this point. And this is how XRP gets to those price points. Take a listen to what Brad says here.
Point, and I think one of the things we all have to remember is that the value of a token over the long term is really going to be derived by its utility. What problem is it solving? How big is that problem? How many customers do you have? There's no question there's a lot of hype in this system, and I don't actually think that's a good thing. For Ripple, we use this digital asset called XRP to settle liquidity needs between banks. So today there's $27 trillion parked at different banks around the world so they can make payments between each other. Our view is you can use a digital asset like XRP to do that in real time. Because XRP has been so efficient, it settles a transaction about 3 seconds compared to Bitcoin. So it just passes through that currency for that period of time. That's correct.
And that's why Ripple will capture more than 25% of Swift's business early. And take notice to what Brad said there. A token's price is driven by its utility, not by market cap, not by previous cycles, but by its actual utility and real-world use case. A-plus credit card holders will gain the ability to exchange their accumulated A-plus points for XRP, as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum. XRP can now be earned through credit card points in Japan. I'm expecting all these credit card companies to eventually go in this direction. Think about all those rewards you rack up by using your credit card and then buying crypto with those rewards. Because this is the direction everything's going in already. Japan is always ahead of the United States. That's why it's happening there sooner. And this comes from Uphold. What does 4% back in XRP look like? Well, let's break down your direct deposit. $250 deposit equals $10 in XRP. $1,000 equals $40 in XRP. And $2,500 plus equals $100 in XRP, which is the monthly max, stacked with every paycheck. You know, think about it like this. You put your money in the bank, and it sits there, and it gets less than 1% interest. Now, you could even take RLUSD and get 4% interest on RLUSD. But people still don't realize yet that at some point, we're no longer going to be working because our crypto is going to be working for us. In other words, it's going to be out there earning all types of passive income. And 4% right now looks great, but I think once the institutions flood into this space, they're going to be opening up even more yield for people. Maybe it's 12%, maybe it's 15%, depending on what they're utilizing your crypto for. I mean, if it's to back like someone's mortgage, I would expect that you would most likely gain more than 4% back. But we're not quite there yet. But we are still starting to see the signs of passive income already. Recognize this delay. So a lot of people are now saying David Schwartz is Arthur Bridto as well. David, are you Arthur Bridto as well? David Schwartz says no. He is a separate and distinct human being in his own right, but he is intensely private. I'll gladly take credit for his ideas, though. He doesn't mind. And people still think that David Schwartz is Arthur Bridto. I think Arthur Bridto, David Schwartz, I think they're both part of the 4 people that make up Satoshi. And I think that's eventually going to be revealed. I think it's just a matter of time. But there's so much speculation going on around Arthur Bridto right now, because he was also the guy who said XRP is built to be a $10,000 asset. And I agree with that. I mean, if it's built to serve every single person on the planet, it is going to hit some very high price points. When presidents, celebrities, and policymakers lean into XRP, that's not hype. That's a signal. The money pipes are being rewired in plain sight. This train doesn't wait for doubters. You in? This comes from X-Finance Bull. So we all know about Ashton Kutcher and donating the $4 million in XRP to Ellen DeGeneres years ago. Madonna also partnered with Ripple. Snoop Dogg performed at Ripple community event. Brie Teresi, a popular influencer, publicly confirmed she holds XRP and challenged the SEC, saying XRP is not a scam coin. Exposing the truth is the first step towards real change. And then you see the political figures. Bill Clinton, Brad Garlinghouse also was part of donating to the latest presidential election, as well as Chris Larson. But you gotta look beyond this. The real secret behind XRP and Ripple is beyond celebrities, beyond political and financial sector. It's the elites. It's the central bankers that are talking about Ripple's technology and XRP, like the ECB, the World Economic Forum. That's how you know you're holding the future. You're holding what the elites see as the future. I always said that, even in Great Reset videos, because a lot around the Great Reset, it relies on Ripple and XRP for the Great Reset to happen. But if you look at the momentum behind this cryptocurrency already, and you look at the momentum behind Ripple with all the rails in every single country around the world, you could see how big this actually is. Right now, everybody lives in doubt. They're like, is this ever going to happen? Because the wait has been such a long wait. But how long does it take to build a new financial system? You know, you see the digital shift happening now. You know what Ripple has done for over a decade now. All you got to do is sit back and do nothing, and you will get financial freedom. And if you have a great game plan, you will get generational wealth as well. And it doesn't matter how much XRP you're holding. Everybody always has to say, well, you need to hold X amount of XRP. No, you really don't. Because as XRP is moving up and it's getting locked away and the demand is rising, people are going to be priced out of XRP the same way that most people are priced out of Bitcoin right now. Stay patient and you will get there. But until it happens, also stay positive so we can get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.